Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today on this Discover ASEA presentation. We're Cindy and Bo Buck from Colorado, and we're so happy that you'll be joining us today. Before we get started, we just want to wish the very best to your family and your friends and this whole world during this really crazy time. Stay healthy. We will get through this, and we will exercise a lot of patience and a lot of compassion during this time. Over the next half an hour, we're going to talk to you about a company called ASEA. ASEA is a discovery, unlike anything else in the world. A little bit about us. I'm a private ski instructor for 33 years and with a background in sales and marketing. And Bo is an international rugby player with a background in construction management and in seafood importing. And when we were introduced to this company, this discovery by our friends in Montana, we didn't really get it at first. But thank goodness they stuck with us so that we could do proper due diligence, meet the people that were running the company, and really kind of get the big picture of how huge this company was and how different this company was from any other company on the planet. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go on. What we were looking for was a way to build our own asset, a way to build our own dream, because when we were working for other people, we were like the puppets, not the puppeteers. We weren't in charge. We didn't have a way of earning money when we weren't physically present. And ASEA offered us that. So we took ASEA very seriously. ASEA comes along to people when people are looking for hope, when people don't know exactly where to turn. And for some reason, ASEA tends to show up during those times. So maybe that's what's happening for you today. Maybe you're looking for some hope physically to feel better, or maybe you're looking for a way to make money from home financially because everything's so crazy right now. So that's where we were when we discovered this company. This company has a very interesting beginning. It didn't start like most companies start. Bo, do you want to tell them about how ASEA got started?
Absolutely, thanks, Sin. When I was thinking about what I wanted to share today, I put a few things down on bullet points that I have here about what I would want to know if I was looking at this company. One thing, the technology, what ASEA is, has been around for 27 years. The first 17 years, it was going down a pharmaceutical path. And the company that was actually bringing it down that path had mismanaged their financial tables. They were unable to discover the mechanism of action of what this technology was, why it was getting the results it was getting, and how important it was. They just weren't able to figure out why it was working. So because the company had mismanaged their financial tables, they went out of business and actually merged with an energy company. And that energy company had no desire to become a biotech company. And so they started divesting the intellectual properties. And at that point was when our founders decided to put together a group of people to buy the intellectual property. Now, they bought this as kind of a business proposition, like a piece of real estate where you add value, renovate it, turn it, and flip it, and make some good money on there, just as kind of a hobby in business to have fun with it. So what ended up happening is that the first thing they wanted to do was add this value we talked about, and they brought in an atomic medical physicist. His name Dr. Gary Samuelson. And what Gary's team was charged with was to actually figure out why this product works. What's the mechanism of action? And indeed, after quite a bit of time, he was able to discover that the mechanism of action in ASEA is redox signaling molecules, something that's 100% native to the body. Your body already makes it. Very, very impressive that that's what this is. And so the next challenge was what they had a machine that made this product, and then after just minutes, it would actually turn back into salt and water. So they needed to discover a way to stabilize the product so that they had a marketable consumer product, really. And after about 6 months, Gary Sanderson's team were able to discover how to stabilize these molecules, something science said never could be done. It's an amazing breakthrough. Basically, redox is reductants and oxidants, one that gives off an electron, one that receives an electron. Only makes sense if you put them together that they would neutralize each other. And in ASEA, it doesn't. And the only thing that actually activates these molecules is when they touch organic matter. So once they had established this, they had a product that they could actually go to market with. They could distribute it in a easy fashion. And so what happened is that they did notice that it didn't really taste really good. It tasted like salt water or pool water, some people say. And because of this, they wanted to make sure that people would continue taking this if there was a perceived health value. So they went out and found 40 of their friends and family and shared ASEA with them, said, hey, come on in, grab as much as you want, whenever you want. We want to find out, what you think about it, what's happening for you. And so after about 60 days, they went back, they brought these people in, and they found out that these people had shared it with other people. And these 40 people had turned into 135 people in 20 different countries. So it was pretty amazing. Obviously, they had continued taking it. But what they found out was that some people that were having severe challenges finally had some hope again. They found that people that were kind of armchair quarterbacks or athletes, weekend warriors, were having better trainings, better concentration, could train harder, longer, faster, with quicker recovery. So a lot of great different aspects, and these people liked it, and they shared it with their friends and family around the world, which was a very interesting prospect to them, to say the least. But remember, their goal was really to go and flip this product, right? So they had gone to a pharmaceutical company who finally came out to look at the technology, look at the science and research, and see if they were interested in the product. And indeed, they came back after back and forth with their office, looking at the research, discovering, they're doing their due diligence on the product, and said, hey, I tell you what, we actually, we want to write you a big fat check, but there's a catch. And so Virtus said, well, what's the catch? They said, well, the catch is when we buy this, we own it, you don't. We make it, you don't. And all 135 of these people that you have on it have to come off of it. That's the requirement. And they said, well, wait a minute. We have 6 people that really were having some challenges and have hope now. And we want to make sure they can continue to get the product. And the pharmaceutical company said, hey, people have problems all the time. People have health challenges all the time. We're talking legacy money here. If you want to do business with us, this is what you have to do. And so the founders said, fine. And they escorted them out of the building and said they'd get back to them. And then they came back into the office and they looked at each other and they said, no way, I'm not doing this. I can't sleep at night when my friends and family who need help are out there getting results. We are not going to sell this product. So all of a sudden, something that turned into a business play turned into an obligation. The founders of ASEA wanted this to be, we're going to treat this as stewards of a technology that needed to get out to humanity. So, then what happened was they wanted to start this as a legacy company. They had come from Fortune 50. They didn't know any other way to build a company. It wasn't going to be just some network marketing company that came in and shot up the sales scale and then went out of business just because they hadn't managed the company correctly. So they started building the foundation of this company and the infrastructure of this company. But before we get to that, I want to just pass it over to Cindy so she can talk to you a little bit more about ASEA and what the technology is. Cindy?
So redox signaling molecules are fascinating. You're making them right now. So am I. If we weren't, we'd be dead. I mean, they are a life force. So for example, to let you know how important these molecules are, is that if you stop making redox signaling molecules right now, you'd be dead by the end of the presentation. That's how critical these molecules are. Plants make them, animals make them, they're a life force. And what happens is as we age, we produce fewer and fewer of these molecules, which is why we age. So it's at the root cause of the aging process. So to be able to replenish these native molecules back to the body is unbelievable. So if you think about it, redox signaling molecules, they regulate every single system and every single organ in the body. So what are we made of? We're a big sack of cells, about 75 trillion cells in all. And these cells are little bags of salt water. And inside these saltwater sacs are redox signaling molecules. What they do is they signal to the body which cells are healthy and which cells are unhealthy. So the body can protect the healthy cells and repair or replace the unhealthy cells. You think that's important? The last thing you want replicating in your body are unhealthy cells, right? And if you understand that the body's the ultimate healing machine, why would the ultimate healing machine allow unhealthy cells to replicate? And it's because it's not getting the message or the signal that those cells are in fact unhealthy cells. So do you know that redox signaling molecules tell a stem cell what kind of cell to become? I mean, redox signaling molecules are at the foundation of everything. And when we got started 10 years ago, it was anecdotal. There was a lot of research on redox signaling. In fact, there was a Nobel Prize won on redox signaling in 1998 that, discovering that these molecules were not a waste product, that they actually had a critical function in the body. But it's one thing to understand something, it's another thing to be able to do something about it. And ASEA is the first and only company in the world that's been able to replicate and stabilize these molecules outside the body so they can be replenished back to the body. So since then, they've done a lot of double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled studies. I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully you can see what I'm sharing. So if you look at this, you can see that this is how redox signaling molecules affect skin cells. When you are putting the Renew 28 on your skin, you can see that the healthy cells are protected and the unhealthy cells are repaired or replaced. And it results in skin renewal, blood flow, smoothness, wrinkle depth, elasticity, fine lines, skin smoothness. This is all proven. And this is done by Stevens and Company and Dermatest. Here's an example of what somebody looked like before the molecules and after the molecules. There's an article in the Huffington Post that says there's 5 emerging technologies in science that will shape our lives in the years to come. And number 4 is redox signaling technology. And the only company associated with that science is ASEA. Here's what they say about redox signaling. Redox signaling molecules have been around for eons, but it isn't until recently that we've learned about their central importance in our health on a cellular level. New technology is emerging that inserts healthy redox signaling molecules into your body, helping to repair and replenish your aging cells. Since we are made up entirely of cells, every organ in the body can potentially benefit from this new technology. There's all kinds of textbooks written on redox biochemistry. This is being taught in medical schools around the world. There's over 19,000 published studies on PubMed.gov talking about the importance of redox signaling molecules. The latest research done on ASEA is done by Tarot Labs. It's the lab behind Ancestry.com that's based in Utah. And what they showed in an 8-week study was that the people that were on ASEA versus the placebo or nothing had up to a 31% improvement in genetic expression. So as we age, our genes actually turn off, and that has a result in 5 key areas of our health. So when people take ASEA, those genes are turned back on. And the systems that are improved are immune system health, inflammatory response, cardiovascular health, digestion, and hormone modulation. Pretty key. Now, just one of these genes can affect 15 other pathways. So there's this cascading effect, which is why if you start looking at the results people are getting with ASEA, the results are all over the map. Skin cells, heart cells, blood cells, hair cells, brain cells, all kinds of cells are improved when replenishing these molecules. So the product's not on trial here. The product is completely proven. There's a company named Bioagilitics, which is a lab in North Carolina, that certifies that every bottle of ASEA and every tube of Renew 28 and the serum are redox certified. So they start out as salt water, and those elements are broken, the bonds are broken, and what comes out the other end is redox signaling molecules, which is why people are getting the results they're getting. They're not going to get those kind of results with just salt water. So for the past 10 years, ASEA has really been setting up infrastructure so that this company will be prepared for the growth that's coming. So Bo, do you want to talk about the infrastructure that's in place?
Yeah, definitely want to get back to the foundation that was being established by the executive team at ASEA. I tell you, it was really actually the first 8 years that ASEA was working on the infrastructure. It was part of their strategy every year was to build and establish a very strong infrastructure so that this company, as it scaled, would be able to handle the growth. And right now, where ASEA is we're in 32 countries. We have 18 distribution warehouses to facilitate the distribution in those countries. We have our own manufacturing facility. I think this is one of the most important things of ASEA. Most network marketing companies, there's only about 10 or 15% of network marketing companies that actually manufacture their own product. This is so important in terms of maintaining the integrity of the product, as well as maintaining the integrity of the opportunity of ASEA. We have multiple international patents to protect the integrity of ASEA and the opportunity. But the fact that we manufacture our own product is a very big part of that in being able to maintain the opportunity. I'll tell you what, the first 8 years, as we said, they were building an infrastructure. The first year that they actually put into their strategy the point of execution, we want to execute as strongly as possible, was 2017. And in 2017, we had significant growth and went to $83 million in annual revenues. In 2018, again, execution being part of the strategy, we grew up 51% to 126 million in revenue. And last year, 2019, grew again to 170 million, to the point where we actually doubled our revenues in 2 years. Pretty exciting also this year with the challenges that are in place. ASEA over the last 3 or 4 weeks has grown by 23% in the last 3 or 4 weeks. That's double-digit growth per month. Very, very exciting. This company is in momentum. It fits a need in the marketplace in terms of developing and growing your preventive strategy in terms of health and wellness. It also fits a need in terms of business, an in-home business, something that protects your family and you. For some, it's a plan B. It was definitely a plan B for us until I joined Cindy, so that we were looking for her to build up our business so that I could come over and leave the corporate world. And I can tell you that job security is definitely an oxymoron. I'm sure you've all heard of that. Cindy and I wanted to build our own dreams, our own assets. We had done that for other people in our other businesses, and we were not looking to continue to do that. We wanted to build our own assets. So I can tell you that over the past 10 years that Cindy and I have been in ASEA, there are a lot of times when life throws you curveballs, life throws wrench in the works. And over the past 10 years, there have been 5 such curveballs that have landed in our laps. And just to give you an example, and maybe you can relate to this, as we've had 3 family illnesses that needed to be addressed over a good bit of time that would take us away from our traditional jobs. But we had built and established a foundation in ASEA, and that certainly helped us get through the times. We had the 3 family illnesses. We had 1 near-death accident. So, and that, recovering from that, also every Friday, checks showed up in our bank accounts. And finally, we can look at this. This is number 5. We have a global pandemic where we're all in self-quarantine. And during that time, we are able to connect with our people through this fabulous technology of Zoom, certainly over the phone. And today's millennials are always looking to find businesses that they can do from their laptop or their phones. And this is it 100% of the time. So basically, I think it's time where Cindy talks a little bit about how this all works in terms of a business, in terms of an opportunity, in terms of a technology that can help you with any kind of prevention that you're looking for. Cindy?
So we're like a human internet. When, when this company was first established, it was, somebody in Salt Lake City who told somebody in Dallas, Texas, who told somebody in Boise, Idaho, who told somebody in Spokane, Washington, who told somebody in Montana, who told us in Colorado. This is how this all starts to ripple. And so some people just want to become customers. They just want to take advantage of this technology and improve their own health and wellness. And if that's you, that's fine. Get back to the person that invited you to this presentation and just tell them that you want to get on product. Some people not only want to become customers, but they want to tell their friends and family about this. They want to start offsetting the cost of their income, offsetting the cost of their product by earning some money back from ASEA. And so if that's you, tell the person, get back to the person that invited you to this presentation and tell them that you're ready to help them get the word out, with their help. So that's how this company is spread, is that people tell people who tell people who tell people. And that's how it's gone from the United States of America to now 32 countries around the world. So it's a very honest way of sharing information. We're really in education more than we are in sales. Most people don't know what redox signaling molecules are. They don't know what they do in the body, and they don't know why it would be beneficial to start using them on a daily basis. So we're really teaching. The difference between this business model and traditional business is that traditional business spends a lot of money on marketing and advertising. This business model doesn't. That money that's normally spent on marketing and advertising is given to people that are actually doing the word of mouth advertising, like us. So we are doing a series of presentations throughout the next bit of time to make sure that people can leverage this technology while they're home with their families, and reaching out to their friends and seeing if they're interested in learning about this technology and this company. So tonight at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, there'll be another presentation just like this given by Jerry and Marcia White, so that even more people can find out about this technology. So at this point, we just want to thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that this has been beneficial. We hope that you've learned a little bit. There's so much more that you can learn. Please stay safe, take good care of each other, and we'll bring your guests on tonight at 7 o'clock and listen to 7 o'clock Mountain Time and listen to Jerry and Marcia White. So see everybody.
Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night. Oops.